I got a question from a customer. We were designing a home for him, and he was wondering what the best option for construction is. Technically, you have three different options. The first one would be to hire a general contractor. Second one would be to hire a project manager. And third one would be to take on the job yourself and act as the general contractor. And the last one seems to be quite appealing to a lot of people because you're saving all of the profit margins. So I'm going to give you a quick comparison between the three options. The first option, which is hiring a general contractor, is typically the least headache and least hassle option because you have a contractor who's delivering everything, managing the acquisition of all the materials, hiring all the trades, and managing the work on a daily basis. But this contractor is making a margin of typically 30 to 35% of the construction and material cost. And one precaution to keep in mind is that if you're hiring a general contractor and you realize that this general contractor does not have his own trade, so at least doesn't have 5 full-time trades working with him, then he's pretty much managing the project and making the 35% margin. In certain, like in Ontario, you don't have to have a license to be a contractor. Anyone with a truck can say they're a contractor. So when you hire a contractor, you want to really be careful. You want to check their references and get good testimonies from previous customers. Check their projects and make sure that they've been here for long enough, because a lot of customers end up having their contractors abandon the job site and they lose a lot of money. The second option is hiring a project manager, which is not a commonly way of doing construction. It's just because people don't understand much about it. But you can hire literally a project manager and pay them a salary, and they will also take a percentage, typically 10 to 15%, on top of the construction cost and on top of the material cost. You still have to pay them their salary because they're going to be on site every day. They're going to be handling the deliveries and the management of the project. This was one of my preferred methods because if you don't have sufficient experience in construction and you hire someone to manage your project who presumably knows what they're doing, of course, then you're going to be saving around 20% of the project cost. Now, the third option, which is to manage the project on your own and to act as a general contractor. So if you're planning to do this as an exercise, if you're planning to become a contractor, for example, or a builder and developer, that might be a very good option for you because you're going to learn pretty much 70-80% of what you need to do and what you need to know from your first project. However, if you're doing this just because you're planning to, save money, then you really want to be careful with that because the responsibility is much bigger than what most people think. And you have to have very good technical knowledge in the building code and the regulations and Construction Act and laws, for example, because if you don't know what you're doing, the trades may put a lien on your property and that complicates things. So you have to know what you're doing really, and you have to keep in mind that your time is worth money too. So if the project is going to take you, say, 6 months, and that's a good case scenario, and you're making $100,000 a year in salary, you're gonna have to take some time off, and you're gonna be losing, say, $40,000-$50,000 of your income. Is that equivalent or more than what you're gonna be saving? So if you're saving $100,000 and you are sacrificing $50,000 of your income, yeah, maybe that makes sense. And another warning I like to give my customers is like construction is quite hectic. I've had customers who went through divorce because of construction. I've had a client, God rest his soul, who died in a construction site because one unsupported wall fell on him. So it's not something that should be taken lightly. And at the end of the day, most architects give you free consultancy and free advice. And if you have a project upcoming and you have any technical questions, please DM me and I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. I hope this helps.